today's show.
Yeah, so points on the line here. Quite a bit of points.
And the glory. If Max is able to take down D2, D2 is going to the to his magical happy place, it seems.
Yep.
But yeah, if Max, as a tournament newcomer, we tried to do a little bit of prep for this tournament, kind of scout out some of our open bracket players. And the only thing I could find about Max online is that he is a high-ranked EU Legend player.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Yeah, it turns out Googling Max doesn't really give you the Hearthstone player.
Max Hearthstone.
Yeah.
Not a very good way to do research.
I didn't realize that. I'm a rank 21 Googler.
Yeah.
So really tough.
Well,
really
our
tough
casting is about as good as our Googling, so
yeah.
Let's keep that up. Anyway, D2, obviously coming off of a terrific run through BlizzCon, made it to the Final Four, in fact, before falling to Firebat.
Yep.
Looked like he got a little bit shaken in that game, and I wonder if that's just that huge crowd he was playing in front of, or if he's just a nervous guy.
It's a really stressful situation to be in, though. You know that there's so much money on the line. Even if you, a lot of people put a lot of pressure on themselves to win in that type of situation as well. So,
yeah.
And so many people watching, if you make one mistake, you know that people are just going to be like, mistake.
Yeah, I think we both know what we were talking about. That happens to people on Hearthstone stream sometime. I'll be honest, though. I did talk to D2 a fair bit backstage at BlizzCon. He doesn't strike me as the kind of guy who gets nervous that easily.
Well, yeah, in his interviews, he seemed to talk with a lot of confidence.
Yeah, he's a cool dude. Was a tennis coach for a while. Kind of a bit more mature than a lot of the guys you see at some of these tournaments.
Yeah, tennis coach is probably the most mature profession I can think of.
sounds like he's 14 years old. Anyway, back to the game. Looks like not a whole lot going on. Just a couple. The Druid armored up.
Yeah.
The Rogue popped the hero power, and then they went ahead and played that.
Those things happened.
Yeah, they played that Shade of Next Rammus on curve on turn 3.
Yeah, so definitely against Rogues, against Miracle Rogues, you want to put a lot of pressure on as quick as possible. You don't want to let them dictate the pace of the game. Because you're playing against the Rogue as much as the Rogue is playing against his own deck, so you don't want to give him the options to be able to draw through his deck really early on. And this is an okay hand right now for D2. He's got a lot of ways to draw into what he needs, and of course D2, as we saw, is running that ha-ha!
The ha-ha! Yeah, great combo there using the Cold Bloods and the Faceless Manipulator to pump out quite a lot of damage. It actually came down to the wire against Phrase, and that combo was able to pull through.
Yeah, both these guys, very combo-esque type decks.
Yeah. Miracle
versus Miracle.
Miracle.
Who's going to Miracle quicker than the other Miracles? Miracle.
Yep. I like seeing the SI7 agent just being played for the body here, trying to sneak in as much damage as he can. He knows that Shade is, he knows Mac's not going to take that out of stealth.
Yeah.
It's going to sit there for a while and synergize so nicely off of...
he might take it out of stealth this turn, though. Maybe to protect his Violet Teacher, but really not much need to here. And he already has the Savage Roar in his hand, so he could be getting dangerously close to lethal if these creatures are left up on the board for very long. It's so early in the game. We're only getting to turn 6, turn 7.
Yep.
And he's already getting close.
Yep. All right, D2 having to make a tougher choice than Max this turn because, again, it's like things haven't really necessarily gone his way with some of these draws in this match. He could do something like Sap the Shade. That's a nice way to kind of get some of that.
Yeah. He's actually got pretty decent ways to be able to clear the entire board here. Sap the Shade, then he can even eviscerate and dagger into the Violet Teacher.
Or backstab eviscerate.
Backstab eviscerate. There's so many different ways he can do it.
Yeah, but every single time he does something like that, it is one less spell he's going to use to actually win the game when he finally draws his Gadgets and Auctioneer.
Yeah, but at the same time, I mean, how much does he actually need to win? Because the South Sea deckhand, double Cold Blood, Faceless Manipulator is at least 21 damage because you have to have a weapon equipped.
Yeah.
So how much damage does he actually need to do? Only 9.
Yeah.
Only 9.
Only 9.
Having himself a giggle.
He's having a giggle. All right, we're going to see what he does. He goes for the backstab on the Shade and wants to drop the Eviscerate. And then going to go ahead and pop that SI7 and clear the Violet Teacher with his Deadly Poison. Nicely done. Still keeping a nice range of spells that he's going to want to finally use to push for that lethal.
Holding onto the Sap as well, which is a pretty interesting choice. There's not many better targets against a Druid to be able to use that Sap against. I know 3 mana is not like the greatest thing in the world, but it was already stacked up quite a bit.
Right.
And,
but I think that's probably for the Belcher.
Could be.
I mean, especially when
But I don't think we even saw Max running a Belcher, did we?
Ooh, I don't know. That's a good point. It could be just more of an aggressive, focused deck.
It's very true. But D2 probably does not know that.
He doesn't know that. This is, even though we've been streaming for quite a while, these matches were played about 4 or 5 hours ahead of stream earlier this morning.
Yeah.
So for each match we've seen so far today, these guys are discovering their opponent's decks for the first time.
Yeah, it really sort of plays into the format as well of having that very ladder-style tournament format. Forces the players to build those solid decks. That's exactly what they're doing.
Yep. All right, so Max thinking about what he wants to do. Does he want to keep the 1/1 token? Because he could innervate out a hero power or something like that. I think he's pretty set on just going ahead and clearing that out.
Yeah, that innervate in this deck, in a normal like ramp style druid or mid-range druid, innervating out of the hero power to keep one of your creatures alive might be a little bit of a better choice. But in this deck, there's so many things that make that innervate so much better. Gadget Stand Auctioneer, Violet Teacher.
Teacher, yeah.
Oh, there's another piece of the puzzle.
Here we go. Just missing, I think, 1 Cold Blood and 1 Faceless until he can get to that the dream 20 damage combo. Actually chooses to shiv the face there because he knows he's going to want to...
He just wants to cycle through that deck.
Yeah, and he's just going to hit the Drake with the Deadly Poison anyway.
Yeah, but this is a really scary hand here. 15 health. We're on turn 8. So he's just going to go ahead with the Loatheb to set up for lethal because he has Force of Nature, Savage Roar, Innervate, Hero Power next turn. That's 15 damage.
Yep. And with that Loatheb, it looks like he may have just secured the win.
Oh,
Earthen Ring Farseer.
Not going to do it.
Not going to be enough.
Not enough.
The South Sea
Lethal
deckhand
with quite a bit overkill.
There we go. Really solid stuff. We talked about what we prefer to see, the Miracle Druid or the Miracle Rogue. Looks like Max really putting down the pressure with the Miracle Druid in this match. Oh, and there's a second Force of Nature just for the fun of it.
Just for good measure. But yeah, he didn't give the Rogue enough time. He put pressure on early, put a lot of pressure on early, forced the Rogue to use a lot of that early removal to be able to deal with those threats and didn't draw into that Gadget Stand Auctioneer. That's always, I said, Rogues a lot of the time play against their own deck more than they play against their opponents.
Yep.
And D2 just was not able to. Really impressive. And he's actually picked up a lot of wins against Hunters over the course of the last couple of days with that Priest deck. And of course, the Zombie Chow from Max. Every game that he's played against the Hunter, with that Priest deck, he's had that opening Zombie Chow.
And it is so strong. This time is actually one of the first times we've seen him also on the coin. Yeah. And it's going to be interesting to see how his strategy changes. I wonder if he's going to try maybe like Chow, Coin, Shield, or just go with what he's used to and just drop that Chow and make such good use of his hero power.
Yeah, this is going to be a little bit tougher of a situation, though, because he's not going to be able to treat as effectively. The Mad Scientist is going to come down. Oh, Shadow Man, this is such a great card in this Priest versus Hunter matchup.
Yeah, pretty much you can steal something like a Harvest Golem or a Shade. Sorry, not a Shade, a Scientist or a
Deny the Secret. Yeah.
Deny any kind of Death Rattle. And in this Death Rattle focused Hunter deck, that is such a big tempo swing.
Yeah, and the double Cabal as well.
Yep.
So he'll be able to stabilize really nicely once he gets to that point.
Yep.
But right now, I mean, he's got to worry about this Undertaker. It has the potential to get buffed up pretty big.
Yep. Luckily, not a single Death Rattle for D2. If he had 2 Death Rattles in this hand, like a 1-drop and a 2-drop, that could be real trouble for Max. He's really committing to just this single Zombie Chow, trying to establish the early board control.
This is an awkward turn.
It is.
Yeah.
Maybe, and yeah, you never even really want to owl your opponent's Zombie Chow either.
Yeah.
You would be able to, no, you wouldn't even be able to clear it. Very awkward turn. Maybe just play the Snake Trap.
Very awkward.
Help you push for some of that burst damage to take down your opponent's Zombie Chow.
Using the Iron Beak Owl into that Zombie Chow is like taking your cousin to the middle school dance.
Yeah? Is that a bad thing, TJ, from where you're from?
It's a very bad thing.
Good. Just wanted to check with you. Yeah, he's going to go ahead and pop that Snake Trap, and that will give him the burst damage to clear that Zombie Chow, if he so chooses.
Yeah, not a very strong turn, though.
Nope.
And you want to have a lot of strong turns early on.
Oh, wow. And if Max all ends with a Power Word Shield, that Zombie Chow's still out of range.
Oh, man. That's rough.
That's rough. That's really rough. What does he get? Gonna be the Wild Pyro. Excellent
I bet he wishes
pickup.
he had that with the Power Word Shields, though. That would have helped him clear the board.
Yeah. Wow, chooses not to keep that zombie chow up either.
Yeah, eventually you just got to let the zombie chow go.
Yeah.
Eventually you just got to say, zombie chow, you've done good
You've
work.
done good.
It's time to move on.
When was the last time you saw a single minion carry someone through to turn 4
A single
against a hunter?
one-cost minion.
Yeah. Really solid stuff from Max.
Yeah.
This is an excellent deck to bring against the Zoo and the Hunter, and he's been doing a phenomenal job of keeping him in check.
Yeah, but the Yeti, the bane of Priest's existence right now. And it's still really early. He doesn't have mana enough for Wild Pyromancer and Shadow Madness, which would help him clear this really well.
Yeah.
Double Wild
wow.
Pyro.
Shadow Madness here against the 2/2, though, is such a good play as far as, like, taking just choice away from that Hunter. They love to get those secrets down.
But at the same time, that's, again, it's just not the greatest choice because you're not even going to be able to clear the Yeti. That's a wasted Shadow Madness that you're going to have to use. His hand is just so full of 6-drops right now. He just doesn't have many choices.
See what he decides to do. He's thinking about it. Definitely not an easy turn to think about, though.
And this is one of the reasons why those Hunters are starting to tech in those more mid-range stuff. Taking out sometimes Houndmasters and putting in those Yetis just makes those matchups that sometimes can be a little hard for you, like the Priest, making them slightly better.
Yep.
Yeti is just a more consistent version. It always is terrible feeling to throw out a Houndmaster on an empty board when you have no beast energy. A Yeti is just like the naked Houndmaster on steroids.
Yeah. And it's pretty rough. I mean, he's still 2 turns away from Holy Firing that Yeti, but even then he doesn't want to do it.
Yeah.
You know, that's a really good option against some of the other cards Hunter runs, like a
You
Sven
can't
Hyman.
make me. I don't want to do it.
There you go. He's trying to deny the tempo from the Death Rattle of the Scientist. Not a bad play.
Yeah. He's probably setting up just so he can play the Wild
Belcher,
Pyromancer
though.
next turn. Whoa!
Definitely would have preferred to steal that
Yikes.
Belcher with the Shadow Madness.
And then he's got a turn 6 Hyman. This is just looking really bad for Max at this point. This Priest deck that we've seen do so well against Hunters over the course of the last 2 days.
Oh, that is just such a hard turn.
This is
this is the worst curve possible.
Yeah. Yeah, worst curve. 6 into 6 into 6 into 6.
Man, it's like, do you just play double Pyro and hope he doesn't notice?
Gross.
Nasty.
Yeah. Almost threw up in my mouth just thinking about it.
Nasty. Holy Fire would get him back in the game. If this was turn 6, he'd be looking pretty good.
Yeah.
Drop the fire. You know, consider the Cabal on, like, the slime next turn. Stuff like that is really frustrating when you're playing against Priest.
God.
Oh, no, he's done it.
No.
The thing we didn't want to see.
Yeah,
and,
that was really his only course of play, though. He needs to keep that Akanai Soul Priest. It's a way out of dealing with the Savannah Highman because you can, if you can kill it that turn as well, you can those 2/2s get caught up in the Akanai Circle of Healing.
Yeah.
But I just don't see many ways for Max to be able to climb back in this game. He's got 6-drop after 6-drop, but what's he gonna steal? The 1/1s? And D2 just playing around that so well.
I would have thought that maybe he wanted to go for the UTH, just to also help clear those. But no, instead he's just going to drop the Hyman. Even better.
Really good play. Plays around the Cabal Shadow Priest. Plays around a lot of the turn 6 plays. This is really solid from D2. Oh, there's a Circle of Healing, but... All right, well, he's going to Holy Fire.
Yeah, next turn that Akanai Circle is not bad.
Oh, but he's going to take so much damage here. 9 damage.
9 damage, including the hero power. Ooh.
It's close.
14. It's getting close.
Yeah, this next turn is going to be really big for Max, though. He's going to be able to clear the board, and then, of course, he has the Cabal Shadow Priest to follow those up with. Did he stabilize?
That is the question we ask every time we see Max play, because he is a player who likes to head to turn 10 and
most of the time, the answer is yes.
Yeah.
Oh, brutal.
Rough stuff. He is going to go down to just 10 health, though, which does mean that a second kill command is lethal.
Yeah.
What is the top deck going to be? It's going to be lethal.
There it is.
Iron Beak Owl. Double kill command.
Wow. So D2 is going to tie this one up at 1-1. What a draw getting that second kill command.
Max was this close to being able to stabilize that game.
One more turn.
One more turn. Really solid start there.
Yeah, those are great cards against Hunter because they just deal so well with those early creatures. Now, the one thing he has to be careful of is that getting those Haunted Creeper, those Spectral Spiders out is really bad against the Unleash the Hounds. Max throws everything away.
Running a Hunter's Mark. Yeah, this is the kind of mid-rangey style we saw for the explosive traps and the mid-range. Sorry, and the Houndmaster.
Yeah, it's a
sorry,
little,
the Yeti.
Yeah, it's a little different from D2. It runs those explosive traps instead of the snake traps.
Yep.
Still has the freezing traps in. Not quite my Hunter deck.
Nope.
One of each trap.
One of each trap. They never expect the turn 2 snipe.
Never. Leper Gnome just eats that.
There we go.
Turn
Sorry.
2.
Sorry, Voidwalker. Send him right home.
Yeah, that's a pretty great start here for Max. Can't ask for much more. Doesn't have much follow-up, though.
Yeah. And the thing about this matchup is they're two very different hero powers. You can see now that Max is out of cards, but D2 is pretty much always going to have a couple options.
Yeah.
The only issue is going to be face health.
Yeah.
We're going to expect that Zoo is a stronger board. We're going to expect that Hunter has a huge health advantage and can just start to really whittle down D2's Warlock.
Yeah, I really like this choice to Hunter's Mark the Undertaker, because even if he plays a Death Rattle, still only going to bring it up to 2 health, which means it'll trade into any of his creatures. Which I said, it's all about the momentum in this matchup.
Yeah, but still a really nice response with the Abusive Sergeant, able to just get it right off the board.
Yeah. Not really much to say about this turn here.
Nope. Would he? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I was going to say just...
You want to force the opponent to trade into your Leper Gnomes.
Oh, wow. But still an opportunity for D2 to take out that last remaining Undertaker for Max.
His hand is very full. Having all 2 drops right now is not something you want. Oh, wow.
D2 thinking it's Snake Trap, instead falls for the bait, and now Max is in a position where he could just, this game could just get out of control, especially with Death Rattle draws like that.
Yeah.
Haunted Creeper going to go down with a hero power.
But he's top decking.
Top decking and wrecking, we hope.
Top decking and possibly
We'll
wrecking.
Yeah.
But, I mean, he's running out of cards. That's the one thing. But look at this, 16 health already onto D2.
Yeah, and those Leper Gnomes, unless there's a silence coming out, potentially represent an extra 4 damage no matter what.
Yeah, this is... I don't know if D2 is going to be able to claw his way out of this one. Oh, man, that's 7 damage on the board. He's going to be at 9 health at the most. What's he going to get with his Anarch Companion? That's actually a really good draw. It fits his curve so well.
Misha? Nice, he gets it. That's gonna just soak up so much of that board. Maybe he would have preferred something like a Leok just to really drive home
Huffer
that
even
damage.
would have been better. 4 damage. Come on, man. I know you're part of the Leok Appreciation Club.
I love Leok, man, especially when you get the Haunted Creeper totems down. No one expects the two ones.
I don't know if I've ever heard anybody call the Haunted Creeper Spectral Spiders totems.
Oh, sorry, I meant to say tokens.
Oh, okay.
Oh, my bad.
Well, I guess totems could work.
Yeah.
Oh, that hurts.
Oh, wow.
And wow, this is
Yeah, just get rid of the Leper Gnome.
this is 6 damage to the face next turn. He's at 8 health.
And that is brutal.
Yikes.
Equivalent of 6, a kill command.
And 30
is
health.
So close to ending it.
There's
There
just-
is no way that Max is going to lose this game.
Yeah. It's looking really bad for D2 right now. And there's just no
there's a
Draxus and
concede.
Zoo. And there it is. He
No-
knows. He
no
knows.
Deathwing either.
No Deathwing either. Even a Deathwing wouldn't have saved him in that situation.
Not many taunts. So you sneak a little bit of early damage onto their face, and then
Yeah.
all of a sudden that guaranteed 14 damage from Force of Nature Savage Roar
Yeah.
all hits the face.
By not many taunts, you mean
0. Exactly.
0 taunts.
That is the strength of this Miracle Druid.
There
Let's
was-
see what Max can
Once
do.
upon a time, let me tell you a story.
Way back when.
Story time. Way back when Reynad actually introduced the Mogushan
We were there
Warden.
together, man.
Yes.
There we go. Mogushan Warden, the 1/7, the sole taunt
Yeah.
that's ever been played.
Yeah.
One time.
Tides of Time actually also used to put in Senjin Shieldmasters into his Miracle Rogue deck.
Pre-Nax.
One Senjin Shieldmaster.
One Senjin, pre-Nex.
Yeah. There was some experimentation with the Sledge Belchers in the Miracle Rogue deck.
Yep. But we have seen D2 stack up really impressive 8/8s, 14/10s. His Van Cleefs are all over the place. So if he can get off to a similar start, Miracle Druid is just not going to get to a stage of stabilization.
Yeah. Noxious was the guy who had the big Van Cleefs.
Oh,
I
really?
think,
No,
yeah.
D2 definitely got those 2 8/8s, right? In match
Oh,
one
yeah,
against
yeah.
Chalky.
2 8/8s.
Yeah.
Noxious was the
He
guy
was
with
the 14/10?
Whoa.
Oh,
14,
man.
14. Well, it became
was
a
cold-blooded, yeah.
yeah 14-10, yeah. 10-10 at first, then a 14-10, and then it became a 14-8.
Today has pretty much just been Van Cleef Day here at the
Yeah.
ESL Legendary Series.
Yeah, very similar to Leif Erikson Day.
That is a dated reference. Wow. Yeah, I was gonna say, surprised he didn't decide to clear off that shade, given the huge issue it gave him in game 1. He had the option there. Deadly Poison, swing face, and just pop the Blade Flurry, but looks
It always
like he's
feels
saving
terrible to pop the Blade Flurry just to clear one creature.
Yeah, and especially in this deck where he knows there are going to be a lot of tokens coming down off that Violet Teacher later,
Yeah.
setting up the Savage Roar lethals. Probably pretty smart to save that.
Yep. Well, he has that Gadgetzan Auctioneer. Does have a 1 prep. Wants to draw into Conceal to be able to keep that Gadgetzan Auctioneer safe, but I'd say he's in a little bit better shape than he was in the last game. This hand is chocked full of lots of late-game threats for Max. Not really much to use early on. That's not what he wants to see.
Nope. Is he really just going to swipe a 3-3 off the board? That doesn't feel so good. Probably going to keep the Shade just another turn, because right now it's dead to just a Deadly Poison. That doesn't feel so good either.
Nope. Then again, though, putting on that pressure is something that you need to do as the Druid in this matchup. Whoa!
There it is.
That wasn't actually that big of a draw. I just love Van Cleef.
We just love the Van Cleefs, man. All right, so he's going to go for the Deadly Poison and then prep. It's going to give him 2 cards.
He's really needs to. He's digging for a spell here.
Yeah. He wants Conceal.
Okay,
Oh.
this is still good though
And
because
is he going to backstab his own Gadgetzan?
No. Well,
Oh,
he
no,
might.
you could just Blade Flurry.
He can
yeah.
Blade Flurry this out though.
Sorry, I forgot the prep was active. But that is
Yeah.
an option if he's not happy with his draws. No, looks like he's just going to go ahead and let that sit.
Yeah. He can clear this Gadgetzan Auctioneer here. Would take one of his Force of Natures.
Oh, wow, he is going to pop that, yeah.
Yeah.
He also had the option to Keeper of the Grove, Moonfire, and pop the Hero Power. But I guess when you've got 2 Force of Natures in hand, when do you ever run both?
Yeah.
Like, when do you ever actually get the chance to use both? that
Yeah.
is?
You can Force of Nature, Innervate Force of Nature.
Great 12 damage combo. Weaker than the Savage Roar, yeah.
Well, it's a good rag turn. Not really though.
Not really, though.
Oh, well, okay.
Looks like he's going to go
I mean,
for it.
what are the choices he had? He can dig for something with the Azure Drake, but what is he going to get that costs 3 mana?
Right.
Not much.
He could have silenced the... No. There we go. Only hits the 3-3. Probably the weakest of the 3 choices.
Yeah. And then this is
Ooh,
not an
Loatheb.
easy sap target, but I wouldn't be surprised. He's going to faceless
the
it.
YOLO Rag.
He can even sap it to guarantee damage on face.
Wow. And that is such a big tempo swing, too.
Wow.
What else are you going to use those saps for, man?
Wow.
Wow. Wowee. That's not bad. It's
Wowzers.
really not a bad idea to sap Rag. It's 8 mana that you're taking out.
But at the same time, also going for the 50-50 to get his rag off the board and out of the game, that's pretty enticing as well. But I think Sap is the better play in this situation. Wow, it's going to put him down to
That is
13
that's a huge
health.
swing. That is a huge swing turn.
I don't know what Max can do here.
He needs to think of something. Slam the YOLO Rag right back
Yeah,
at him.
yep.
But even then, the ha-ha Cold Blood, that's starting to get into lethal range.
Oh, no, that's not what he wanted to see. He's going to be able to clear 1 here. Spell powered up Moonfire. Moonfire.
go.
What a great card.
What a great card. Pray that Rag hits the 2-4 at the end of D2's next turn, though. Because
Yep.
if not, he may be going home from a quick loss. What's it going to be? Gadgetzan.
Oh, wow.
He can dig for...
He can clear one of these creatures too.
Yeah.
With the SI agent. He can also Loatheb to just set up for more burst next turn. I think he wants to dig because he doesn't have a defined win condition yet.
Yeah, if he can get that Cold Blood, the Faceless Manipulator's down, and he's only running 1 of them. It is the Dream Miracle combo, and it's not going to happen this
Wasn't it Max that used the Faceless Manipulator?
I got the best deals anywhere.
I don't remember.
No, I thought didn't D2.
There's so many
no,
rags.
D2 faceless the rag
Okay.
and then sapped it.
Okay.
So it is that was part of D2's win condition.
Yeah.
He's going for more of the board control though.
Okay.
Smart play.
Yeah.
All right, but what does he do here?
Just going to clear it off. Okay.
Wow. He
Now-
could even. Yep. All right, what's it gonna hit? Is it gonna hit face?
If it hits face, then he's going to be at...
No,
oh,
doesn't.
He would have been at 5 health, which would have set up for just dagger eviscerate the next turn. Even
Yep.
South Seat deckhand.
Yep.
So there was a lot of ways for him to win. But, I mean, still this is a scary board. Not much is going to help him survive here, actually.
I feel like spamming tokens is a great option, but the issue there is he can't.
There's no spells.
He doesn't have any spells.
One spell. Force of Nature is the only thing. And what's he going to be able to clear with the Force of Nature? The
He would be able to get the
Auctioneer.
Kazakhstan.
Wow.
Wow, that is a real pain. That is going to be 3 tokens. Sorry. Oh, actually only 1 token. Sorry.
Yeah.
From the Violet Teacher. Didn't have any follow-up spells, and this is looking so bad for D2. Shiv.
Wait.
Shiv Sap.
5, 6, 7, 8.
Haha plus hero
2.
power.
He's two damage away here from lethal.
Well,
Oh, wait.
no, dagger up, clear the 1/1.
That's lethal.
Shiv. Eviscerate.
That's lethal.
Yeah, you can
if
guarantee.
he's-
Yeah,
yep.
Sap especially. Yeah, that is definitely lethal. He actually has 2 different ways to do it, either using the Sap or not.
Yep.
But doesn't really make a difference. And there's the cold blood off the Shiv.
That's
gonna,
just
gonna-
overkill.
That's gonna send it home.
Alrighty.
And D2.
Well, D2 going to tie it
Tie
up.
the game up.
The finals, we're going to a game number 5. Oh, boy. Oh, boy, Alberto. Not a sponsor.
I pray really consistent decks. Not a bad one to put it all on the line here in Game 5.
Yeah, there's a lot of points here. 80 points for first place going towards the season, and I believe 35 for second. That's a big difference.
It's a big difference.
35 is less than half of 80.
Wow.
Yeah, that's just in, right?
It's
by
almost
the
as
way.
if we did that on purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty much first place finishes in this event are super strong. You want to reward them.
Second place finishes are strong, but not super strong.
That's the dream start, by the way.
Yeah.
Voidwalker, Flame Imp on the coin.
Plays so well against Hunter as well because most of those 1-drops that Hunter's going to play, the Web Spinner, the Leper Gnome, they trade not very well into a Voidwalker. So Freezing Trap just feels not
Pretty
so
bad.
great here.
Yeah, definitely the right play to just pass, though, with that Leper Gnome.
He does
What's
have
the
to make
point
the
of
choice,
sacking?
though. Who does he sack into this Freezing Trap? If he sacks the Flame Imp, basically means not really going to be an option to play later in the game because a 3-mana Flame Imp that also does 3 damage to you, nope, that's not good value.
It's not good value. The Undertaker, is that what we're going to see here? Yes, it is. And I guess maybe even just an Abusive Sergeant, because why not? No, he's going to keep that for his eggs or some of his other minions later. D2, though, seemed like he would have had a bit of a better start. Oh, the double flare.
Yeah.
Not what you want to see, I'd say.
Yeah, I think turn 1, turn 2, turn 3 flare coming out from a Hunter is probably a sign that makes me smile.
Yeah.
When I'm playing that Zulok.
You like the Schadenfreude of a Hunter losing?
I mean, I don't play Zulok. Who am I kidding?
Yeah, come on, man. You're only fooling yourself here. Everyone knows. Everyone plays Zoo, and everyone likes to hate on it.
I shut my blinds, put on my biggest hoodie.
The NSA is still watching you play Zoo, and even they're ashamed. This is morally reprehensible. All right, though, those flares, the funny thing is, if this was a Hunter Mirror, Max would be like, oh, perfect, perfect draws. But instead, no, wow.
Oh, that's a bad hand.
Not the best hand. Does curve well into turns 5 and 6, especially against a Zoo.
Yeah,
I feel
actually,
like you can
I'm going to go ahead and retract that statement of me saying that was a bad hand. That did not happen.
You said it was a great hand. Whoa, look at those draws, TJ.
Nope, didn't say that either. It's an okay hand.
It's an okay hand.
It curves really well. Putting out big threats against Zoo is okay, but you got to be careful not to let your health totals come so low.
Yeah.
And the explosive trap's actually a really big deal because that can ensure a few damage because Zoo not usually going to kill you with spells.
Yeah. I feel like Max is in a really strong spot, though, right now.
Yeah.
He's it's a fair amount of damage in the hand of Max.
Oh, and D2 just playing right into his hand here.
Wow.
He's doing damage to himself.
Wow. The self-clock, the rare self-clock. Those once that Savannah High Main comes out, if the
Oh no. Not only is this a self-clock, it's a double-edged clock.
Wow. Doesn't choose to go for the soul.
Look how much damage he has on the board here.
Yeah.
11, 12, 13 damage on the board plus the Soulfire.
Let's see what that explosive trap can do.
D2 has lethal next turn if Max passed his turn right now.
Right. Explosive trap plus Hunter's Mark, though. And then if you keep this Tiger stealth, he's got to hit face or pass turn.
Yeah.
And that is so weak.
Okay, so he could do 12 damage this turn plus the explosive trap. Put him at 4, so he can't tap next turn. Wow. This game is intense.
It's really intense.
Doesn't
Decides
choose
not
to
to
use
do
the kill
for it.
command.
Yeah,
Okay.
just going to maximize that damage.
He's going to try and say, hey,
Oh.
I dare you to tap.
Wow.
Dare you to tap.
This is so neck and neck. The final game of the match.
Yeah.
There are just no realistic plays for D2 right now. The only thing he's going to count on is the fact that he's got a 2-1 coming out of that Harvest Golem after the trap is procced. What else could he do? Tap into a Owl and silence the Hunter's Mark off?
Oh, that's not
a turn
good.
early.
That's not good.
That's a turn early.
If he does, well, no, it's not going to be lethal next turn. So 12 damage on the in hand and on the board for Max next turn.
That's
and
lethal
an
for
explosive
Max,
trap.
right?
If he attacks in,
But what else is he going to do? That's it.
Pass.
I'm not the best Hearthstone player in the world, TJ, but I do not see a way that D2 is going to come out of this game alive.
He passed.
He passes. He knows he's playing around explosive trap. That's
2
right.
damage.
Oh.
Oh, that's not going to be it. He's 1 off. He can't bow and hero power.
But what other opportunities does he have? No taps, no explosive traps. What can he do?
Nothing. I think that's it.
That's it. There's no way that D2 is coming back from this game. He throws up the well played. Ironbeak Owl.
Ironbeak Owl with a face.
Oh,
Gets rid of the
man.
secret. No. Wow.
That is it. Tremendously played from Max, coming all the way through yesterday's Open Finals in our Challenger Cup. And he took down Noxious. He took down last week's second